and welcome to this video from Sorare Assist. So I've only just started my limited card journey squad building, and in this weekly new series I'm going to be showcasing my journey and strategy, and I'll be showing you all my purchases and shortlist of players that I'm looking to buy. So keep watching to follow me on this weekly series. This is episode 1 and I'm sure it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Before all that, if you've just discovered this channel, then welcome. If you're a returning visitor, it's good to see you again. On this channel you will find all the Sorare content that your brain can handle and managers of all experience levels will find useful. So make sure you subscribe by smashing that subscribe button and tap that notification bell to be the first to be alerted about any new videos. If you find this video useful, then please give me the thumbs up by clicking that like button. If you haven't signed up to Sorare yet, then what are you waiting for? Get signed up using the link below to get a free limited card and 13 common cards. If you have any questions or thoughts about this video, then drop them in the comment section below and I'll try and respond to all relevant comments. Right, now that's done, let's get stuck into today's first episode of my limited Sorare journey. As I say, this is the first video in the series. Each week I'll share any rewards I've won, and the limited rewards will only be shown on this weekly series. Videos will be every Thursday for this series, so make sure you subscribe so you can watch every episode. I'll also talk through any limited card player sales and purchases, plus I'll be sharing my SO5 results for Division 5 regions, including successes and failures. I'll also be giving an update on my limited squad building for each tournament and region. And I'll finish each weekly video with a look at my profit and loss for my limited card journey. So let's start with my SO5 results from the last 2 game weeks then. So as I say, I've only just started buying the limited cards in the last couple of weeks, and I've just been trying to get a team together so I can actually start entering the tournaments. So the last 2 game weeks in the SO5 Division 5 tournaments are the first 2 game weeks where I've actually had a squad to put into those divisions, okay? Because I want to showcase every single result on this new weekly series that's going to be on the Sorare Assist YouTube channel. So let's have a look at my results then. So the first result we're going to look at is from game week 197. So I finished 266 in that division, but I only actually had 3 players playing. For some reason I had Guzan as captain, don't know why that happened, and Blanco didn't play as well, so I only actually had 3 players that were actually playing from the cards that I had in my gallery at the time, and they all scored mediocre scores as well, unfortunately. So there was no prize in that game week, but a fairly decent start to my Division 5 journey there. So game week 198 I had a little bit more success. 3 of my players again played. 1 player didn't play, Lee Jong, and Brad Guzman didn't play also. But Blanco was my captain, although one of these 2s in hindsight would have been a better choice as captain, but they still all got a reasonable score, especially Wagner and Beguis. And I ended up with a score of 237th, which left me in 218th position. So, in terms of rewards, I did get a reward for this. It was a tier 3 limited card. And the reward that I got for finishing 218th, which was only my 2nd appearance in Division 5, was Hector Jimenez. 32-year-old midfielder. One that I am going to sell on the market though, because I have got a clear strategy in mind for my teams, which I will go on to in a moment. So I will move on to my Division 5 shortlist and team squad building, now starting with the Global All-Star team that I'm looking to purchase. So here it is then, here is the Global All-Star team so far. So at the moment I've bought Fukamori in the defender slot, and he cost me a nice £23. So the total cost at the minute is 23, as you can see here, and as I buy more players for these slots here, I will add them to this cost. Any reserves that I have, so these are just basically potential squad players for this team who are looking at a very cheap price, I will add into here as well. So I'm looking to get 2 midfielders and a forward, and obviously 1 goalkeeper. So this is my shortlist that I've got in mind for these slots, okay? So I've got Guzan as the goalie, I'm after getting Gill as one of the midfielders, Holzhauser as another midfielder, and Beguis as the forward in my global all-star team. Obviously this shortlist may change depending on circumstances, form, price, that sort of thing. But at the moment this is the global all-star team that I'm working towards. And what I'm trying to do here is get the best of the best for each division. I am concentrating on obviously the global all-star to start with, Challenger Europe, Champion Asia and the Champion America at the moment. I'm not really looking at the Champion Europe players at the moment, or the under-23s, because they're just too expensive at this moment in time. So I'm hoping to pick some of those up potentially in the rewards that I get from these teams. So let's have a look at the next team then. So that is my Champion Asia lineup, and this one is coming along very nicely. So I've got Fukumori again in this side, so I picked him up for 23 as well. And I've got Lee Yong as well in the defender slot. He was only £8, which I think is an absolute bargain. You guys should definitely check this player out. He's got a contract till 2023. He's a South Korean international and is playing 90 minutes most of the games. Yes, he's a little bit older, but he's still playing 90 minutes. South Korean international, and is very cheap. And his SO scores look absolutely fantastic. Midfielder, I've gone for Bit Garam, who's cost me £35, which I thought was a decent bargain. He's been in and out of the side recently, I don't know why that is, but I'm pretty sure that he'll be getting back into the side and be a regular again in the coming weeks. And the reserves, I've spent £32 in total on the reserves. So these are just players that looked very, very cheap and decided to pick them up. Shimoda is looking very good recently. He was very cheap. This young player started getting a couple of minutes recently, so I've picked him up as a very good price as well. And Ijukenko and Palasevic were two players that I've previously had my eye on. They've both been in and out of the team recently, but when they are playing, they've got absolutely fantastic stats. So I picked these up at a really good, reasonable price. So these are all sort of budget prices players that I've managed to pick up, and they all cost £32 in total for them 4 players. Now the shortlist for my main squad is these guys at the moment. The goalkeepers may change, but this is the shortlist for the goalkeepers. In terms of forwards, because I only need a goalkeeper and a forward, these are the 4 that I've got in mind. Obviously Cecina is going to be the most expensive, but I think he might be worth the extra cost. So yeah, this team is coming along very nicely, so I just need to grab myself a goalkeeper and a forward. Total cost at the moment is 98, so that's the total price of the first team and the price of the reserves as well. So moving on now to Champion America. This team is also coming along very nicely. I've got Brad Guzan in goal, who picked up £65. Defender, I've got Kai Wagner for £24. And forward, I've got Javier Hernandez, who was a £32, which I thought was very cheap because when he was playing, he did look very good and his scores were looking impressive as well. Still quite young, and I think he could do very well in the MLS. So I thought that was a very cheap price. He is injured, of course, but he is due to come back to the side very soon. I've also got a couple of reserves here, £22. Medran, who's another one who's had his injury concerns. He's another fantastic option. So if he does get back to his old form, he could even slot into one of these midfielder slots here. Blanco, same story. Been out injured for quite some time, but I've had my eye on this guy for probably around a year now actually. If you watch back to some of my budget videos, he was one that was suggested. But he's come back now, he's started playing a few minutes and his scores are absolutely fantastic considering he's not actually playing 90 minutes yet. So he's another one who could potentially slot into here. And I picked these two up for a total of £22, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. The official shortlist of players that I'm looking at is these 3 players here. Gill is obviously a monster on Sorare. He's probably one of the best scoring midfielders on Sorare. So he's one that I'm probably going to want to slot in one of these midfield slots if I'm looking to buy the best of the best. Because I think even though his price is around 170, that is still a very good price for the score output that it's going to be giving you. Nani is another one who's very good in terms of the scoring matrix. Some people may be a little bit weary that he's a little bit older, but you can get this guy for around £70 to £80, and he doesn't look like he's got any fitness concerns, although he's picked up a few injuries recently, but I think he's got the potential to play another season as well. Maximiliano Morales is another player who could potentially play another season. Stats and scores look very impressive as well. So I'll only need 2 of these, of course, maybe even 1 if these 2 start performing. So the total cost at the moment for this Champion America team is 143. So next up is the Challenger Europe. At the moment, I've only got Steven Berghuis in this team. He costs £112. Thought that was a bargain for this guy. He's a really quality player. He's got some fantastic scores recently for Holland, of course. It didn't play the last game for Ajax, but I suspect him to get back into the side. I think he's still settling at Ajax as well, and I expect him to have another fantastic season. Reserves-wise, I've only got Christian Bruls. Picked him up for £23, which I thought was a decent price. He is a decent reserve, but one that I may look to potentially sell in the future. And this is the long short list that I've got here. As you can see, there's 4 slots that I'm after. Goalkeeper, defender and 2 midfielders ideally. Roma, I've put the rare card here because obviously they haven't got their limited cards released yet, Club Brugge. He's probably the top of the list in terms of my shortlist. This guy looks fantastic as well, so that he could be up there. And Mercer, and of course Holzhauser as well. These 4 here are probably the top targets for my midfield. In terms of defence, I've got Douglas Santos or Sebastian Kurz. Both fantastic options. And goalkeeper wise, it's going to be one of these guys. I've put Kozim in there because he's very cheap in terms of the goalkeeper category. But these 2 are obviously going to be solid options as well. So the total cost so far of this team is 135. And that is obviously the Berghuis and Bruls. So moving on, Champion Europe. As I said, I'm not really concentrating on these yet. Hopefully I'll win some of these cards in the competitions to add some of these slots. But at the moment, I'm going to concentrate on the other divisions first. Same with the under 23. Another category that's going to be very expensive. So hopefully I'll win some of these cards in the competitions as well. So let's move on to any sales, purchases and bids that I've made recently, not including the players that I've already bought, of course. So no recent purchases really. I've just got a bid in for Brad Guzan, as you can see at the time of recording. Put a bid in of £49. I'm hoping this will be the highest bid, but I've got a feeling someone else is going to put a bid in as well. So I may even increase that just to make sure that I do pick up Brad Guzan. So he's going to be good for my American team as well as my Global All-Star team. Although he is a bit older, he has got a contract till 2023 with Atlanta and is a very important, influential player for them. So I think he's looking a bargain. Because he's a bit older, you can pick him up cheaper. So now let's move on to my profit and loss so far on Sorare. And then I'll finish off just having a quick preview of my potential team for this upcoming game week, which of course starts tomorrow. So here we are then. These are all the figures that I've just gone through previously, and this is going to get updated each week just to see how well I'm getting on. So as you can see at the top here, we've got all the cost of my squad so far. So the Global All-Star £23, Challenger Europe £135, Champion Asia £98, Champion America £143. Total cost is £399. So ETH from limited card sales and ETH rewards is 0 at the moment because I've not sold any cards yet that I've won, and I've not of course won any ETH rewards yet for the podium finishes. Up here we've got cards won and still in my gallery. So these are cards that I've won, not sold yet, or are currently listed. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the total 1 month value of the cards won at the bottom here, which at the minute for this guy the 1 month average is £30. But it's looking like that value is coming down as we go. At the time of recording, his 1 month average price was £30. So that's what I'm going to go to for the purpose of these videos. So in terms of the total figures then, so total cost of the gallery was of course £399, which is this figure. ETH sales and rewards is 0, and total 1 month value of cards won £30, which was this figure here. So the total at the moment, profit loss, is minus 369. But of course, I've only just started my journey. I've entered 2 game weeks so far, with a team of 3 in each one there. but I've still managed to pick up a card, so I think it's going to be very interesting when I've got a full team of 5 to put into the tournament. Speaking of which, let's have a look at my potential lineup for the upcoming game week. So this is the potential lineup for the upcoming game week, which obviously starts tomorrow. And if we have a look, they've all got a fixture, and hopefully they should all be playing as well. So I've gone for the captain Berghuis here as my captain, who away to Zwolle. I will check the team news on him though, because of course it didn't start the last game for Ajax, but I expect him to start this game. He's had 2-3 very good games for Netherlands. I expect Shimoda to start as well. Blanco should start now he's getting back to fitness, or even come on as sub, but I expect him to do well. Fukumori, I'm hoping he does start because he missed the last game. Don't know why that is. And Brad Guzman will definitely start as well for Atlanta. So this is the team that I've gone for. These are all players who are expected to start and have a fixture. Okay, so let's see how we get on with that. Find out in next week's episode, of course. So that's it for this week, but don't forget the next episode is on Thursday, so make sure you subscribe to see how I get on. If you have any thoughts on today's video, then drop them in the comments below. Are there any players that you think I've missed that could be good purchase for any of my squads? Then let me know below. If you enjoyed this video, then please do just that and like this video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to pin that notification bell to be the first informed about any new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Sorare Assist. And also check out our free website, sorareassist.com. All the links for these are in the description below. There's also a link in the description below for Sorare if you want to get signed up and access those all-important free cards. Okay, that's it. I hope to see you again in the next video.